Okay, so now we're live. Welcome, everyone, to another version of 10 Words or Less, in which I ask brief questions of interesting people and ask them to give me brief answers in return. Now, although the title is 10 Words or Less, I'm not counting. It's an idea, an ethos, not a limit, and I've asked my guest today to keep it brief, but I've not asked him to speak in 10 words or less. I'm pretty sure my questions will be 10 words or less, but I had time to think about it and compose myself and what I wanted to say over days. He does not have that advantage. So, Lathe is... That's actually something I just tried to look up and I couldn't find it, Lathe. Are you co-director, co-producer, or both?
Yeah, all of the above.
Oh.
And writer.
Okay. So here's what he sent me beforehand, which will introduce his film, which is just out in the last couple of days. Is that correct? October 1st?
That's correct.
Okay. For those of us who are carb-crazed and for anyone who wants to live a long and healthful life, this film is for you. Carb-Loaded, A Culture Dying to Eat, explores the origins of the skyrocketing diabetes and obesity crisis. It will shred any misconceptions about who is at risk, and why. The film features such medical experts as Dr. David Katz, Dr. David Perlmutter, Dr. Andreas Einfeld, to him, Dr. Yanni Friedhoff, and Dr. Timothy Noakes, as well as Brian Wansink, who's a researcher at Cornell. Also, writer Gary Taubes and others. The film was created by our guest, a Connecticut-based filmmaker who has traveled extensively, producing commercials, live events, and creating video content for ABC Studios, the Disney Channel, Dreamworks Pictures, and the History Channel, plus many nonprofit organizations. So obviously I have the ability to find out. It's not like you're hiding this information, but I always like to ask, could you spell your first and last names for us?
Okay, my first name is Lathe, L-A-T-H-E, and my last name is Poland, P-O-L-A-N-D.
Born when and where, please be specific.
I was born in Carson City, Nevada, and that was in the winter of 1973.
Can you give us the date?
I'll keep it a secret.
All right. Well, kind of a throwaway question. Was there anything notable about this experience? Was Elvis in the next bed or anything like that?
Anything notable? I was, this is very random, apparently I was what they call a blue baby when I was born, which in my case was a mild kind of mix of the RH factors between my mother and myself.
Did that have any? Has that had any practical impact on your life?
No, in fact, I didn't really know it until I learned later.
Fair enough. And where do you reside now?
I live in Fairfield County, Connecticut.
What is your job? I just said, but go ahead.
I'm a filmmaker. Yep.
And what is the composition of your family, please? Nothing intrusive. Just who do you live with?
I've been married 17 years with my amazing wife, just the two of us.
Please tell me an early formative experience.
A formative experience, like from my childhood. I guess I don't know the exact date, but learning that food could trigger migraines for me had a pretty big impact on my view of nutrition.
I don't need the exact date. Could you give a shot to, preschool?
Yeah, I think I was in junior high.
Okay, someone outside your family who influenced you early in life.
Jim Henson.
Good one. What was your first paying job?
My first paying job. You're gonna love this one. I dotted chocolates at a chocolate factory, which actually connects to the previous answer that I gave you.
Tell me some wisdom that you learned on the assembly line at the chocolate factory that you still retain today.
Find work that you actually love to do.
Your favorite band.
I'm sorry?
Your favorite band, please.
Oh, wow, my favorite band, as in currently or when I was younger?
I imply nothing more than your favorite band. You get.
Okay. That's like picking favorite child. I'm gonna say the Shins.
Favorite book.
My favorite book. Wow, it's a series of books, but the Foundation trilogy by Isaac Asimov.
Favorite meal.
A gorgeous grass-fed ribeye steak with broccoli.
Do you eat fast food?
No.
Tell me someone who deserves more attention than they're getting.
Man, you're good with these questions. My initial response is everybody that's not getting attention right now, and that's a big group of people. I guess I would say, gosh, who's getting attention now?
If you want, we can come back.
Yeah, let's come back to that one.
Okay. And if I can just say, I have sympathy for you. I wouldn't want to be on your side of the interview. They're short, but they're not necessarily easy, just for several reasons, one of which you already mentioned, like saying which one of your children you love the most.
Right.
A supporter outside your family whom you're proud to have.
I suppose my business partner, Eric Carlson.
And he's your, when I asked you at the beginning, co-producer, co-director, etc., he's the other guy, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay, could you spell Eric's name for me? I can look it up. And I was a journalist 30 years. It's an
Old habits die hard.
Yes.
It's Eric, E-R-I-C, and Carlson, C-A-R-L-S-E-N.
Tell me a filmmaker who inspires you.
Wow. Okay. I guess I would say Steven Soderbergh.
Is it possible in 10 words or less to say why or what about him?
Sure. He isn't restricted by rules, and so he's willing to go out on a limb and try new things.
Tell me someone who impresses you as an offbeat voice of reason in the food world. And I only added the word offbeat because I've seen much of your film, and I can imagine there are many people in there who you might say, and I'm looking for just someone other than the obvious answer. And all the people who didn't get picked by you in the next 20 seconds, my fault, it's not late.
And is it okay if I say it's someone from the film?
It is okay, yes.
All right. Well, I think maybe Dr. Andreas Einfeld is a great example of someone that deserves a lot of recognition for what he's doing.
Explain to people who might be watching, the pauses are because I'm typing his answers because later I'm going to publish an edited transcript of this interview, and I'm just trying to keep up. Sometimes there are awkward pauses, but that's what explains it. So tell me a little bit about Dr. Einfeld. I had not heard of him before I saw the film. What's he doing that's so great?
He's very balanced, and he's very analytical. So he will test his own blood sugar after he has eaten certain things, and he will very honestly and openly report on his findings.
Unlike the guy who did the seven nation diet study.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was unaware of that. Could you just because I brought it up, could you tell people briefly what that anecdote is that's in your film?
Sure. It's the doctor responsible for many of our beliefs about fat and carbohydrates, and his name is Ansel Keys. And he did a study in the 50s where he concluded that fat was largely responsible for high heart attack rates and things like this. But in order to arrive at his conclusion, he had to throw out almost all of the data from his study. It was started with 22 countries, and he ended up with 7 countries to arrive at what he was aiming for.
It was really shocking from the point of view of science. You could come up with any outcome you want if you're willing to just take the data that agrees with you.
Yeah, just watch the news. You'll see it every day of the week.
Okay, please tell me, in any field, it doesn't have to be around your film, but of course it can be, what would you identify as an inconvenient truth?
An inconvenient truth. The healthcare system doesn't benefit from us being healthy.
That's pretty profound. Thank you. If you can, name 2 things that you think are unconnected. Excuse me. Completely wrong. The other way. 2 things most people think are unconnected, but that you don't.
Wow.
10 words or less. You can skip it if you want.
Things that people don't think are connected. Okay, I got something. Let me formulate here for a second.
Great.
Well, actually, you know what? A very simple one. Diet and health. Sadly, most people don't connect those 2 things.
Very good answer. Very good answer. It is astounding. The physical makeup of our bodies is determined almost entirely by what we put in our bodies, but people think that I can eat whatever I want and there'll be no consequences.
Yeah.
When I say sustainability, what do you say? 1 or 2 words, phrase.
Forethought?
Interesting. Sustainability as an issue, planetary or personal?
Personal. Yeah, it starts with ourselves.
Tell me something that sustains you.
Something that sustains me. My marriage.
Tempted to put you've noticed a couple of my questions had outside your family, and I was tempted to put it on that one too. I should have.
Gotcha.
It's not, that's bad or wrong in any way. I am completely for.
You're looking for something outside of that.
Of love. It's just that who's the best person you ever met? My dad. And I'm the
right.
Anyway, we'll go beyond. We'll go past that one. Tell me something. Actually, I'm skipping that one. Identify an impediment to change.
An impediment to change. We've always, well, that's answering the question with the question. Let me see here. An impediment to change. Wow, where do we begin? I guess I would say an impediment to change is our own comfort.
Okay, that's an excellent 10 words or less answer. Please give me another sentence or 2.
Okay. It wasn't a 2-word answer. Yeah, I suppose when things work all right for us, and we've always done them that way, that can make us think that that's the way it should be. If we feel comfortable in our universe.
Tell me a question I should have asked you.
It's so funny. I do this for a living. I interview people, and that's actually one of the questions I ask them. What did I forget to ask you? What was it like to finance through Kickstarter? The film, that is.
Yes, I understand. And the answer?
Amazing. It was a great opportunity to immediately meet your audience before you have a film to show them.
Tell me, what's the one thing you wish everybody would just get right?
That doctors are not responsible for our own individual health.
Well, if doctors aren't, who is?
We are responsible for our own health. We often relegate our health and the symptoms of issues that we have to someone else before considering that we might need to be our own advocate.
I have completed my questions.
Woohoo.
Oh, that was... we started at 2. Great. Very fast-paced. We're very good sport. Very thoughtful. I appreciate that. And as I said before, actually, I don't think I said this part before. This recording will be on the Fat Boy Thin Man channel on YouTube usually takes about an hour or so, maybe less. And in the next day or so, I will do a post on my blog, michaelprager.com/blog, of this. And then I will work on the transcript. I will edit it. I will send it to you when we have hashed out anything you feel needs correcting or expanding or whatever. I will then post another text post on my blog, and you are, of course, free at any time to link to it. That states the obvious. And send people, share it with others whom you would like to share it with. I wish you the very best with your film and with whatever you decide to tackle next.
Thank you very much. This was fun.
Yes, it was. Thank you very much.